On behalf of the Returned Peace Corps volunteers of Washington, D.C., I want to welcome all of you who came here this week to commemorate our 50th anniversary. This morning, we are honoring the 280 volunteers who have made the ultimate sacrifice by giving their lives in Peace Corps service. We want their family and their friends to know that they are not forgotten. We should reflect how we can continue to serve, how we can honor the legacy of these 280 volunteers by ourselves becoming a shining example of serving others and waging peace.
Five decades ago, a young president of a very optimistic generation organized that power, the power that American ingenuity, idealism, and most of all volunteerism could have on people's lives throughout the planet. We're all well aware that we gather on sacred ground. Here lie men and women whose dedication to our country led them to make extraordinary sacrifices in our defense. We honor them not only in this beautiful place, but in our daily lives as well. We strive to live by the values they embody: love of country, service to community, and selflessness in the times of crisis. It is not just in our words and gestures, but in our deeds and actions that we live up to the sacrifices made by our men and women in uniform. The same is true, I would add, when we remember those who lost their lives while serving America's Peace Corps.
I'm so proud of Joseph. Even though it still hurts to think how proud I am of my brother, I consider myself lucky, not for having lost him, but for having had him in the first place. I'm one of the many, but at the same time, too few, to have known him and learned from him, his story, his values, and his life. I feel honored to have been so close to one of the best, one of the greatest Americans. We should all be honored to all these fallen volunteers, our friends and colleagues, our sons and daughters, our brothers and our sisters. So do not grieve that they are gone, but rejoice that you knew them. They were special. They were the best of the best. And whilst it's sad that they're gone, the world is fortunate to have them in the first place.
We wanted Kennedy to commit himself in the campaign to the formation of what would be called later a Peace Corps. Kennedy's staff was told about the students' response in Michigan. Within 19 days following his October 14th Michigan speech, Kennedy delivered a foreign policy speech committing himself to the creation of the Peace Corps. He said, "Think of the wonders skilled American personnel could work, building goodwill, building the peace. There is not enough money in all of America to relieve the misery of the undeveloped world, but there is enough know-how and enough knowledgeable people to help those nations help themselves. I therefore propose," he said, "a Peace Corps of talented young men and women willing and able to serve their country and the cause of peace in the most useful way." At his request, the next morning, on November 3rd, the leaders of the Michigan group met with Kennedy on the tarmac at the Toledo airport. In his memoirs, Sergeant Shriver writes, "It might still be just an idea, but for the affirmative response of those Michigan students and faculty. Possibly Kennedy would have tried it once more on some other occasion, but without a strong popular response, he would have concluded the idea was impractical or premature. That probably would have ended it then and there. Instead, it was almost a case of spontaneous combustion."
Our I'm deeply grateful to have the chance to give back to this incredible institution, which has literally meant the world to me in our 50th anniversary. You know, I'm confident that the Peace Corps future will be as proud as its past. In meeting with returned, current, and aspiring volunteers across the country and across the globe, I have seen how that spark that President Kennedy ignited, that Al Guskin witnessed on the steps of the Michigan Student Union, still burns as bright as ever before. There's just no doubt about it. I've met young men and women just days out of college. The ink on their diplomas barely dry, eager to teach and learn. These people embody the American ideal. Ordinary people they are, who are capable of extraordinary things. I've met seasoned professionals in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, yearning for new ways to make a difference. I see a few people like that in this audience today. We want to give you that opportunity through Peace Corps Response. And also, plan for 27 months, right? You're willing to give up material comforts to help others in need. To me, our volunteers personify hope in a way that speaks to the core of our character. The idea that whether or not one individual can move a mountain, each of us has the obligation to try to do so. And you know, we don't have a moment to waste. That's the idea that's given rise to the stories that people tell worldwide. Stories about the Peace Corps volunteers who gave true meaning to the word America. So today, on this sacred ground, in this national shrine, we are here to honor those who served America and those who served the world. And I want to close by sharing with you one of my favorite quotes from Martin Luther King, when he said, "We all can be great because we all can serve as you always have." Thank you very much.